Theodore de Ries Pendergrass was born on March 26, 1950, at Philadelphia's Thomas Jefferson Hospital, as the only child of Jesse and Ida Geraldine Pendergrass. His birth was special, and a special gift from God according to his mother Ida. His parents had met and married in South Carolina in 1936 and had been together all through before Jesse, through the World War II draft cards young men, was called to serve in the military from October 1940, separating them temporarily. Through that short period they were together. It was hell on earth for them, particularly to Mama Ida. Even after the return of Jesse from service in 1947, even though Mama Ida had been praying all through, things didn't look up. The couple in some way had problems with getting a kid. Ida had suffered a total of 6 miscarriages through the years and was in despair. But her steadfast belief was the only thing that always kept her going. She even went ahead and made a covenant with her God, where she promised lifelong service to him in exchange for just one healthy child. And as she was on the verge of giving up, her prayers seemed to be answered when she became pregnant in mid-1949. However, in the 8th month of her pregnancy, Jesse abruptly left her for another woman, a decision possibly influenced by the trauma of their past losses and lack of faith. Lucky enough, Ida found solace and support in her church, the Glad Tidings Tabernacle Church. The church community rallied around her, with the assistant pastor, Reverend Branch, becoming Teddy's godfather. Teddy, named Theodore, meaning gift of God, truly seemed to embody this name. Mama Ida, honoring her promise to God, immersed herself and Teddy in the church's activities, attending services up to 6 times a week. Teddy's exposure to the church environment sparked his early interest in music. He began singing as early as age 2 and would dumbfound church congregants at age 3 when he fluently sang the song, "If I Could Write a Letter to Heaven." Teddy's upbringing was marked by his mother's steadfast support, ensuring he never lacked in care, nutrition, or luxurious activities like ice skating. Away from this, his academic prowess was evident from the first day he joined school at McIntyre Elementary School, where he excelled with ease. Despite suggestions for him to skip grades or attend schools for the gifted, his mother preferred a normal education for him with his peers. All through his schooling years, his interest was heavily driven to music class, and he wouldn't miss being in the choir of the schools he attended. Growing up in a religious environment and heavily influenced by his mother, Teddy grew to believe his calling was in ministry. At age 10, he was ordained as a minister and even occasionally addressed the congregation. A young Reverend Teddy would meet his father for the first time a year later in a poignant turn of events thanks to his mother. But tragically, his father would succumb from a knife stab in a dispute with a drinking buddy just a year later on June 12, 1962. A young Teddy who was trying to connect with his father would remain with this wound for the rest of his life. At the age of 13, Teddy's life took a significant turn when his mother secured a full-time job as a cleaner at Sciola's, a supper club on West Pike Street. Working there from 1953 to 1971, she was the only African-American employee, but was treated with great respect and was always seen as part of the family. This relationship brought notable benefits to their lives. The stable job allowed Ida and Teddy to move into a larger 2-bedroom apartment, giving teenage Teddy his own room. They also changed churches, joining First Pentecostal Baptist, which profoundly influenced Teddy's musical direction. The church's large bass drum and the way it was played by one of the ministers captivated him and sparked his interest in drumming. Over to his mother's workplace, which had heavy musical equipment, Teddy used the special privileges given to them to have him play the drums during off hours, fueling his growing passion for music even more. This experience shifted his aspirations from becoming a minister to pursuing drumming. The club's owner, Gaetano Sciolla, even made arrangements for Teddy to watch popular acts who performed at the club like Chubby Checker, going to the extent of having him shake hands and take a picture with the legend as a gesture of appreciation to Mama Ida's dedication to work. Moments like this fueled Teddy's growing passion for music even more. Looking at this picture, we have to give it to Mama Ida for instilling such class in Teddy from a young age. She definitely had a sense of elegance in her. They relocated again after some time to an apartment which brought them close to the Uptown Theater, Philadelphia's R&B hub. Here, Teddy witnessed live performances by a number of great Motown artists, but it was Jackie Wilson's performance which sent female fans into a frenzy that decisively influenced his ambition to become a singer. Witnessing the adulation Wilson received, combined with his growing interest in girls, solidified his desire to pursue a career in music. During his junior high years, Teddy Pendergrass attended several schools, including Fitzsimon, Gillespie, and Stetson Junior High, which exposed him to diverse cultures and people who didn't prioritize religion. His mother's full-time job also reduced their church attendance, and as Teddy entered prime adolescence, he began to drift away from his faith. However, his passion for music remained steadfast, and he continued to participate in school choirs, joining the Edison Master Singers at Thomas Alva Edison High School. Back home, living in a mixed neighborhood in Philadelphia during a time of heightened gang activity, Teddy found himself in a challenging environment. One evening, he witnessed a robbery committed by two young African-American gang members. When the police arrived, they wrongfully detained Teddy, mistaking him for one of the perpetrators. Despite the evidence in his favor, he was unjustly sentenced to 4 months at the Youth Study Center in Philadelphia. While incarcerated, Teddy tried to avoid trouble by socializing and engaging in vice activities like playing cards and smoking. Upon release, he focused on catching up with his studies, eager to make his mother proud by finishing high school. However, the influence of his peers began to affect his interest in academics. He started skipping school to drink with friends and serenade girls at parties, leading to a decline in his grades. After finding out that he had failed terribly and wasn't graduating from the 11th grade, he decided to quit school, much to the dissatisfaction of his mother. He would thereafter work various jobs, ranging from farm work in New Jersey picking peaches and blueberries to driving a cab and a delivery truck. Despite these challenges, his commitment to earning an honest living, influenced by his strong Christian upbringing, remained unwavering. And even through the odd jobs, Teddy's ambition to become a singer persisted despite, and was always on the lookout for opportunities. In the process, he decided to take an occasional gig drumming at the small local clubs and also formed the Paramounts with friends Tony Talent and Kenny Gamble. They met Gene Lawson, a talent scout, who became their manager and promised them stardom. Teddy recorded singles like We Got Love, Angel with Muddy Feet, and Should I Go or Should I Stay, but unfortunately never got to hear from Lawson ever again, nor the records. His resolve undeterred, Teddy faced yet another challenge, the Vietnam War draft. Despite a rule exempting those who were the only sons in their family, he was drafted. Fearing for his life, he sought a medical exemption. Rumor had it that consuming a cube of sugar before the physical could simulate diabetes-like symptoms. Teddy tried this tactic, and fortunate enough, he successfully failed the medical exam and was relieved to find his name omitted from the final draft list, allowing him to continue pursuing his musical dreams. At 18, Teddy Pendergrass seized an opportunity in Atlantic City, a hub for vibrant clubs with non-stop live music. Working as a waiter at Reggie Edgehill's supper club, he stumbled upon a life-changing chance when Little Royal, a performer styled after James Brown, was in need of a new drummer. Teddy auditioned and impressively secured the job. Despite his age, he respectfully sought his mother's approval, which Little Royal helped him obtain by assuring her that he ran a clean and legit organization. Mama Ida gave them her blessings. Joining Little Royal and the Swing Masters, Teddy spent a year gaining invaluable experience. However, dissatisfaction with financial arrangements led him to leave when the group had toured Quebec in Canada and headed back home disappointed, but his determination still unshaken. He joined a group called Signs of the Times as a drummer and later moved to the Soul Messengers. He was later hired by a group called the Cadillacs, where his journey took a significant turn when performing with them one night. Harold Melvin of the well-established Blue Notes spotted his talent. Melvin, seeking fresh talent for his group, offered Teddy a position as a drummer, a decision that would soon escalate Teddy's career in unforeseen ways. Working with Harold Melvin marked a pivotal moment in Teddy Pendergrass's career. He often reflected on this time as the most significant in his professional life, crediting Harold for teaching him vital survival skills in the competitive show business.